Let's talk about food, our favorite topic. For ages, generations. In the earlier days when we used to consume food, we used to either hunt or we used to gather. Later, as we civilized, we started agriculture and we started raising livestock. Further, more civilization came into place and now our source of food is shopping. Shopping through grocery stores. In this process, we have ended up buying a lot of packaged foods. And packaged foods has been a major source of our food these days. Over here, I want to instigate the curiosity and cultivate the habit of reading a nutritional label, because that will exactly tell you what is coming onto your plate and what is being consumed by you. All the food authorities across the world in each and every country have two basic norms. One is to have a nutritional label on the packet, and second is to have an ingredients table printed on the packet. Now, what is a nutritional label and an ingredients table? A nutritional label will give you the nutrients which you are going to consume, which will eventually end up maybe being absorbed by your body. Whereas the ingredients table will tell you all the components and ingredients what have gone into the product for the manufacturing. The nutrients table will notify about the macro and the micronutrients, whereas the ingredients table is about all small elements which have gone into the manufacturing of the product. Let us look at the nutrients label in depth and what a nutrients label looks like. So this is how a nutrient label, an ideal nutrient label looks like. What all do we look at in a nutrients label? The first thing which is to be seen is the serving size. A serving size actually gives an ideal consumption of that particular product by a single person at a point of time. Interestingly, what can be seen over here is, take an ice cream cup and you will find that it has got 3 servings per container. And we all know that once we have an ice cream cup, we will gulp it all together at once by ourselves. So serving size is important for two aspects, is to understand what is an ideal consumption for a single person, as well as all the nutrients mentioned in the nutrient label will depend on this serving size. Second comes the energy. Again, this energy is per serving. All of us have become too calorie conscious. This mentions the total amount of energy in calories which will be consumed per serving. The second comes is fats. It has got two sections into it: saturated fats and trans fats. Saturated fats comes from the ingredients, whereas trans fats comes from processes. Processes like deep frying or hydrogenation of fats. So it can be hydrogenation of fats or vegetable oil. Be careful about trans fats. Here you have to minimize the trans fats in a product. Carbohydrates, one of the macronutrients. Carbohydrates is constituted by the base of the product, maybe like rice, wheat or oats or ragi for that matter, and sugars. Sugars have been added to the product for various reasons. However, it has got an impact on your metabolic health. So be careful over here. The next aspect over here you can see is fiber, that is the dietary fiber. Dietary fibers are an important constituent of our nutrition. However, in processing industry, as the dietary fibers reduce, the probability of increasing the shelf life increases. So overall, in packaged foods, you will find less amount of dietary fibers. Try to look for some more dietary fibers. Vitamins and minerals, these are the micronutrients. Vitamins and minerals are mentioned at the end of the table and they are mentioned in milligrams. Over here you need to understand what is your daily requirement and analyze the product accordingly. The another aspect of a nutritional label is the absolute value and the percentage DV, what is mentioned over here. The absolute values are the values of these nutrients per serving size. So it might be in grams or milligrams. Whereas percentage DV is related to your daily average requirement. Now if you see at the end, there is a footnote which says that your total daily requirement is 2000 calories. Where did this 2000 calories come from? It is a general understanding that an average person requires 2000 calories, but it will always vary from person to person on your health condition and on the lifestyle, whether you have an active lifestyle or a sedentary lifestyle. So this was a nutritional label for you. Let us understand what an ingredients table is. In an ingredients table, as I have earlier mentioned, that it will include all the ingredients what have gone into a product. However, there is absolutely no standard format for it. You'll find some companies mentioning the percentage values and some might not mention percentage values. Over here, you'll also find that there are some elements which are written in a code, that is maybe E and a particular number or INS and a particular number. This is just to save the space. Food companies very smartly use the maximum amount of space for their advertisement or for their publicity, and they use a very small space for the ingredients table. Ingredients table is a 50% postmortem of the product. Why 50%? Because it will tell you the ingredients, not the recipe. So you know what has gone into the secret sauce, but not the process and the percentage of what the ingredients have gone into. Let us look at an ingredients table. This is a very general form of an ingredients table what you might see on a package. At times ingredients table can be tricky to read, but let us have some blanket rules for an ingredients table. If you find more than 8 to 10 ingredients, this is a product which has to be seen with a critical eye. High fructose corn syrup or HFCS. You'll find it in most of the colas or packaged fruit juices, wherein it is used to impart sweetness to the product. High fructose corn syrup is extremely sweet, much more sweet than sugar, and it has got a multifold impact on your blood sugars and your metabolic health. I had mentioned trans fats, and trans fats comes through various processes to the product. So trans fats, if you see any kind of trans fats or hydrogenated vegetable oil or hydrogenated fats, be aware of the product. Emulsifiers. Emulsifiers are used to give a good texture to the product, as well as it is used to have a cohesiveness in the product. However, emulsifiers are not digested in your stomach or in your intestine, so they create a great load over your gut health. Concentrates. Concentrates are majorly used in fruit juices in packaged format with a higher shelf life. However, concentrates as an ingredient is extremely processed, which is further diluted and then used in a product. So try to avoid concentrates too. So this was an ingredients table, and how do you have a blanket rule over an ingredients table or while you read an ingredients table. So next time, whenever you're shopping or ordering food for yourself, read and buy responsibly for a healthy and a better food. On the top of all these things, if you find any issues with a nutritional label or an ingredients table or understanding the components of it, take a snap of it, send it across to me, and let me come back to you whether it is a good, bad or an ugly product. Finally, it is your choice. What do you feed yourself and your loved ones for a healthy life?